That's the sound of the $100 I won.
Is that what that
Just so everybody knows.
I'm the only one wearing the headphones right now, and that is not what it sounds like. One more time.
It might sound to you like the sweet fluttering wings of the jaybird in the sky.
It's blood money.
Or a homeless man jerking off in the corner of a Greyhound station. Either way, you would be incorrect.
You're just butthurt that Peter's not excited that you
I mean,
won?
we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. We can't not talk about it. However,
After how many bets you lost to me, I'll give you this one.
Yes, thank you.
So maybe more bets will come my way.
To be honest, I was totally fine with the Saints winning by 3. So you were able to...
So everyone could win.
So everybody could win. I was rooting for you, Miguel. All I wanted was my $100 because I knew that this was a good bet. I knew that the Raiders were going to play well. I knew that the Saints are kind of a falling off team, and that's why I was confident in this bet. But I did want you to win because that parlay is tough.
Did you guys see the TikTok I sent you?
No.
Hey, Peter, go fuck yourself.
You need an intervention.
Probably. Welcome to It Just Makes Sense. So we have some good news and we have some bad news.
What's the bad news?
We are just walking in after Monday Night Football, in which the Raiders defeated the New Orleans Saints. And Miguel, tell us what happened there.
Yeah, set the scene.
Set the scene.
Man, I was all for the Saints tonight. I had everything riding on them. I have a $100 bet against Braxton that I lost, taking the Saints minus 5.5. I have another $20 bet taking the Saints minus 2.5 with someone else from work. But the thing that hurts the most is the 11-pick parlay.
You were 10 for 10 going into the night.
A $10 11-pick parlay that paid out that was going to pay out $328.
Yeah.
Riding on the Saints. Just to win. Just to win. No points.
And unfortunately, as everybody knows, that didn't happen.
Well, anyways, we're going to get into the nonsense that we had from last week, as well as our It Just Makes Sense picks of the week. Miguel hasn't lost enough just yet in this episode. We'll get to that a little bit later. And then we have our making sense of it terminology, and we're going to get into Miguel's parlay pick a little bit and try and explain a little bit more about a situation where he could have actually cashed out, and we'll save that for the making sense of it. But before we get into our picks, there's a couple of things that we wanted to get into from the sports world. There was reminding me of one of the teams that played tonight were the Las Vegas Raiders. Who brought this one up? Was it you, Miguel? Talking about?
I think there was a little bit of a conspiracy theory with John Gruden, the head coach of the Raiders' wife, Cindy.
Derek Carr called an audible, and it was, I believe the audible was Tiger Woods, Cindy Gruden, smash. So you can translate that however you want, but
I mean, 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Here's what Gruden said. Derek used my wife's name in one of his audibles. Still trying to figure out why Cindy Gruden came up during the game. Gotta look into that.
Needless to say, Derek Carr's definitely having sex with Cindy Gruden. That's really what we were trying to get at.
maybe Tiger birdied.
Yeah, and they have, I forget his name, but he has like electric red hair, and he's a monster. Raiders offense is incredible.
Are you talking about Damon Arnett? Ryan Sutton? No.
Julianne Moore.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Julianne Moore.
Emma Stone. Prince Harry. Nicole Kidman. Borat's wife. Just naming all the redheads.
Julia Roberts?
She's not a redhead.
Julia Roberts is a redhead.
No, she is not.
What?
No, she is not. You want to bet on that right now?
Kind of. She's worn her hair in voluminous red curls, a short blonde bob. What is this, $5? What are we doing here?
Yeah, $5. She's not a redhead.
I think the Raiders DB might be Damon Arnett.
That's what
he
the first
said.
one that I said. Also, hot Julia Roberts hair talk. Her natural color hair is blonde, kind of a dark blonde.
This is going to take us to entertainment. So what about the Kardashians getting canceled?
They got
They didn't
canceled?
get canceled. They just
stopped.
They resigned.
Okay, I didn't really mean. Didn't want to dive into.
No.
this.
Let's do it. Should we talk Hugh Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
The weird cameo that you sent.
Okay.
There is a video going around of Hugh Jackson who is on... I'm going to look this up.
It was cameo.
It was on... Yeah.
It was on cameo. I think TMZ edited the part that he was giving a shout out to whoever purchased it for their friend. I didn't really know how to feel about it.
It was a tough watch. You need to just play it.
Okay. Without further ado, let's just play it.
I got a serious rap for the Browns fans. This is all about some wings and pizza. So stay with me here. Now from the top, we gotta make it drop. That's some wings and pizza. Now get a bucket and a mop. That's some wings and pizza.
Is it?
I'm talking wop, wop, wop. That's some wings and pizza.
Macaroni in a
pot. That's some wings and pizza. Lyrics, song brought to you by Sir Master Hugh Jackson Flash, rapping to you live about some wings and pizza. Enjoy your day. Get your wings, get your pizza, and drop it like it's hot. Let's go.
Like, hey, it was cringy. It was kind of funny, but I support the message.
What did he call himself? Like Dr. DJ...
Grandmaster Flash. Grandmaster Flash Hugh.
It sounded like he just made it up on the
I mean,
spot.
he took 3 classic
Yeah.
all-time
like
rappers
and drop it like it's
dropped
hot.
his name in there.
How much would you guys think that former NFL coach of the Cleveland Browns, Hugh
I've looked at Cameo a
Jackson,
lot.
how much would he...
I'd say Hugh's 99.
Yeah, I was gonna say 100 to 150.
He's actually lower than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes sense after what we watched.
Yeah.
Not very good quality.
Low quality work.
After what we just watched, it probably, what, 50?
He needs to.
$60.
60?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, let's get Hugh on the line right now.
Give him a shout to the show.
I'll pay you 60 to never sing that shit again.
Oh my gosh, guys. We each put $20 in to get Hugh Jackson to give a fucking shout out to our show.
This is Hugh Jackson. You're listening to the It Just Makes
Yes. And use him as our fucking intro.
All right, we're going to shift over and call out last week's nonsense. Yeah, so we'll call out the nonsense, the pick between Miguel and myself being the Browns. So you were right. Braxton, you were right.
They did
And-
play the Bengals. Let's make that clear. Okay.
But they did look good.
They did help me win my parlay this week. So to that, I say thank you to the Browns. My $5 won me
Stop
37.
talking about winning. It's just really obnoxious.
This week, Miguel is our loser, and we'll get into his punishment in a little bit. Miguel doesn't know his punishment, which is great. It is so good because going into last week's episode, Braxton knew. But in a way, like, I kind of like the mystery. I don't necessarily know if it was nonsense, but for Miguel to see Cam Newton come just short at the goal line, the fact that the Patriots lost, and it lost because Cam couldn't get it into the end zone, was just the best.
It's only the best for people like you who don't like him. Who do you think was the reason why they were in that position? It was Cam. Right before they snapped that ball, the entire country
Everyone knew
that this is our O-line versus your D-line. Cam's running it in. Who's going to win?
Like, why not get unpredictable at that moment? You've got a brand new quarterback.
Because he learned from Pete Carroll. Remember what happened? I think
play
he
call.
scored twice with that same draw.
He did.
That night.
He did.
And they couldn't stop it.
My overall opinion of the Patriots after that game is that they are going to be just as good, if not better, with Cam than they were with Tom.
Are you taking then the Patriots to win the division over the Bills?
I would take the Patriots over the Bills.
I would. And I love the Bills.
Okay, so why don't we get to making sense of it?
this week's Making Sense of It, Miguel was in a situation we explained earlier where he had an 11-team parlay. He was 10 for 10 on the first 10 games heading into this Monday night game. And he had an opportunity to win some money back, so I'll let Miguel go ahead and explain that.
Took mostly favorites, left out the games that I figured were kind of a toss-up. Bet $10. The stake was $10 on this to win $328. Coming into this morning, they had offered a $217 bet back.
So essentially they're saying like, hey, we could lose $330 to you. We will give you $217 now.
You can buy out for $217
buy
now.
out right away.
And for a $10 bet, that's not bad. That's a 2,000% return. No regrets. Gotta take a
And
risk.
honestly, I respect that, Miguel.
It's like a deal or no deal situation, right? You feel like you got $1 million in your case, but you're like,
Listen, I can live with losing that bet. I won't be able to live with taking the buyback and having the Saints come back and winning.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's no way.
So
Miss out on that 150.
right, and again, it's not like you were in it for a lot of money, right? Like that's not the MO here. We're putting $10 in.
Adrenaline rush, baby.
I will say, if Miguel would have taken that bet back, he's not on the episode. No.
He just goes straight to punishment and he's barred from the show. I did want to come back to something that we were talking about with the bet back. And it reminded me of a story that I was going to bring up earlier on in the show, which was, did you guys hear about the card collector who purchased a Giannis Antetokounmpo rookie card back a few years ago? He bought it for $7,000 on eBay. And when he got it, he noticed that there were a couple of yellow stains on it. So he returned it and he got his $7,000 back. Giannis, as we know, won the MVP for the second straight year. And that card, the one that he returned, the exact one he returned, sold on auction for $1.8 million this week.
What?
Hold on. Rewind. Just back up.
It was essentially a long game play. People buying a card hoping that eventually it will turn into something.
Any damage to a card, like, devalues it.
Well, I think it's, the user damage. It's the person who owns it. If it's a printing thing, like with money, with coins, with dollar bills, if there's a misprint on a certain amount of those dollar bills and there's something wrong with the ink and they realize it and they stop it, those, let's say 150 bills, they're rare. They get collected because there's only so many of them with that misprint. So I wonder with the card if that was the same thing. Since we are talking about NBA, first of all, Giannis winning the MVP to me is kind of bullshit.
It's not bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's only bullshit because people forget that it's a regular season award. But Giannis MVP, bottom line, is well-deserved.
I will say that I was looking at our futures, and I think that Miguel might have already gotten one wrong on his NBA futures.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How?
Let me check. He's still alive.
I don't understand what you had to check.
We've only been doing this for like 2 or 3 weeks.
I was waiting to see what he was checking. What are you checking right now?
Miguel was ready to explode.
And I'm going to really enjoy Miguel getting punished.
Should we do the rapid fire of college football? You wanna jump
Absolutely.
in it? Okay.
Do it. Why don't we play some like fun music beforehand? Again with the I can do the
Are you sure? Because I can do it. Okay. So obviously there's been college football for the last couple weeks, and there's been some fun games. It's kind of nice to have the college football atmosphere back. It is kind of weird because some stadiums are allowing a few fans and their bands and kind of more of the fanfare, but some others aren't. So, which is a big part of college football, in my opinion.
Yeah. But there was a game against Marshall and Appalachian State that seriously looked like a full stadium, and it gave me such anxiety.
Like, these games are such teasers too, because I just want college football to be back. I'm so hungry for normal college football to be back.
Well, and that's what's so great about this week is because it's like top to bottom, like we're back. Like the big dogs are back. So the first game of the day that catches my eye is number 5 Florida against Ole Miss. It's an SEC, obviously, in-conference game. Florida is one of those teams that can always be on the edge of being great, but they're kind of boring. There's nobody electric on their team, but I'm gonna go Gators. I mean, it's hard to bet against the Gators. I don't know a ton about Ole Miss, but if we're going rapid fire, I'm going Gators. What about you, Pete?
Is Lane Kiffin the coach at Ole Miss now? Lane Kiffin's the head coach.
He is. Oh my gosh.
I don't know if this. Oh no, I would. Oh, no.
Lane Kiffin fucks.
So I mean, I was gonna take Ole Miss, but I'll take Ole Miss. Yeah, fuck it.
Love it.
Taking Florida.
Okay, awesome. Next game is Auburn, Kentucky. Kentucky is ranked number 23.
Really?
Yes.
Good for them.
Bo Nix can rot, in my opinion, being an Oregon Ducks fan, but I do think they win this game against Kentucky. I think Kentucky is a basketball school, and I'll always think that.
I will go with Auburn in this game.
Yeah, I'm not taking Kentucky. I'm going Auburn.
Yeah.
So the next game that I saw, Mississippi State versus LSU. I'm a fan of LSU. I enjoy watching them. I love Coach O. I mean, if you don't love Coach O, there's something wrong with you. I think they smash Mississippi State.
I am easily taking LSU for this game.
Yeah, I'll go LSU.
Cool. Let's see. Next game that sparked interest here is Georgia-Arkansas. Georgia is ranked number 4. Arkansas is unranked, but again, an SEC conference game. I'm going to take Arkansas. I think that this is just such a random season that really rankings don't matter. I feel like Georgia doesn't have a lot of returning tools. They had quite a few guys go to the draft, so I'm going to take the long odds here and go Arkansas.
What's the spread on that?
26.5, Georgia.
Oof.
Love it. Give it to me, baby.
I'm going to go with Georgia on this one.
You are so predictable. You always play it safe.
Let's get into our NFL. It just makes sense picks of the week. I will go ahead and start it off. I have the Thursday night game between the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Dolphins are plus 2.5 in this game, unless the Dolphins decide to go with Tua and kind of like throw a wrench into everything, kind of like what the
Chargers
did with Justin Herbert. Like, I can't see Miami outscoring Jacksonville in this game. Gardner Minshew, he's had a strong start. They've scored a lot of points. I am going to take Jacksonville plus 2.5.
So, Peter, can you confirm or deny that you are, in fact, riding the Jockstrap King once again?
Absolutely. Miguel, why don't you talk about one of your picks of the week, which are the Giants and the 49ers?
So this one includes one dumpster fire. This is the battle of depleted teams.
Yeah.
No Saquon, no Nick Bosa, Jimmy G, Mostert all went down.
Kittle's out.
No Kittle.
Kittle's out.
So this is a battle of the
depleted.
Yeah, and
Saquon's
Daniel
gone.
Jones.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to take the under for this game, and I'm taking the Niners to win -4.
I think I'm next with the Washington football team playing the Browns. Cleveland is favored by 7.5 points. The over-under is 44.
Notice how quiet both of us were when we were talking about the Browns this week. I mean, we have been shit givers the last couple of
talking
weeks.
about the Browns right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still not a believer. They're so inconsistent, and it's Baker Mayfield leading the team still. So I don't have any faith in Baker Mayfield, but I think week 2 is key for Cleveland. I think they found what works for them.
Agreed.
That 1-2 punch in the backfield with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, I think they realized that that's their go-to, and it's going to be hard to bet against Cleveland.
I'm going to take Cleveland money line on this. I think they win this game. Washington's not all there. But again, I love their vibe. I love where they're going.
Browns heavy favorites on the money line at -330, meaning that you have to put $330 in to get $100 back. Might be part of my parlay. So I've got the Bengals Eagles. Eagles are 6.5 point favorites. The Philadelphia Eagles just lost Isaac Seumalo on the offensive line. They're banged up on the offense. I think they've lost 3 starters on the offensive line. Is that right? The 6.5 is intriguing for Cincinnati.
Well, I have Seattle and Dallas. I think is going to be an exciting game. Seattle's hot. Russ is having a breakout year. Cowboys also coming off that comeback to beat the Falcons is incredible. 55.5 over under.
which is pretty high. But I think this is going to be a shootout. I'm taking the over on this. I'm also taking the Seattle Seahawks to win money line. They're 5.5 point favorites. I'm not taking the points. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Seattle might win by field goal. Seattle money line, taking the over, 55.5.
I love seeing overs this high because you know they're just daring you to take it. It's like, oh,
we just might be dumb enough
yes.
to do it.
And it's like, you think I won't?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do it. We had mentioned the Falcons from last week, an absolutely heartbreaking loss. And the Bears are 2-0.
How about the Bears?
How about them Bears?
Yeah, but how about them?
But how about them?
I'm going to stay away from the over-under. I'm going to stay away from the spread here. But the Bears money line at plus 160 is way too juicy to pass up. I just feel like it's one of those bets that it's even if we lose, it's like, well, it was just like too good to pass up. You can't miss out on that. And I have a parlay coming later tonight that I have dubbed the Dogtown parlay.
Yeah.
Because there are so many underdogs this week that are just itching and scratching to get it done. I think we have a lot of underdog wins this week, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, that'll come up in the It Just Might Work section of the podcast. And then we still have Miguel, who's going to get punished. All right, my next pick is the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 4-point favorites. Yeah, the Texans, man, they just are kind of like, they're kind of a deadpan. Like, I mean, maybe they'll show out. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be this one. I'm going to go ahead and take money line on the Steelers.
Okay, next game is going to be the Rams-Bills. In my opinion, these are my two dark horse teams. And actually, let me get to the stats here. So Buffalo is favored by 2.5, and the over-under is 47.5. The Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, he's really improving. And the LA Rams are a team who have been to the Super Bowl. They have that experience. The LA Rams being the underdog here is just way too much to pass up. So I'm going to take the Rams money line, and on the 47.5, I'm going to go over on this game. So I'm going to double down on it.
All right, boys. So my next pick of the week is the Arizona Cardinals and the Detroit Lions. The Cardinals are 5.5-point favorites with a minus 260 on the money line. That's putting in $260 to win 100, and currently have an implied win percentage of 74.09%. The Lions have won the last two games in the series. Kyler Murray is good.
DeAndre Hopkins is good.
Hot take.
This is an electric factory from
Oh,
Peter.
boy.
You can see the energy visibly coming off of him.
Cardinals money line at minus 260, and if I put that into a parlay with other heavy favorites, it's going to give me something.
Pete, you want to take us into the game of the week?
Oh, I haven't done any research on it. 1 second.
Why do you guys act like we're a podcast that does their research?
Because we do. You don't. So game of the week is pretty obvious. Two top teams in the NFL, two top QBs in the NFL, possibly top 10 quarterbacks of all time.
Oh.
But obviously they're early in their...
made some bold statements tonight.
There's a lot
Yeah.
Like
in
you
there.
have made several bold statements tonight.
Okay.
This guy's throwing superlatives.
Yeah, like two-year quarterbacks, top 10 quarterbacks of all time.
If they continue on the trajectory that they're on, I mean, Patrick Mahomes turned 25 like 2 weeks ago.
I know. And to think about, like, I was talking about this earlier this week with my wife, where I was like, when you think about like how shitty of a year 2020 has been, not for that guy.
No.
Not for Patrick.
Not at all.
Patty Mahomes has had a year.
Not
he
at
got
all.
paid. He won a Super Bowl. He got engaged. It's been a hell of a time for Patrick Mahomes.
And honestly, I'm kind of offended because I do not think that these are crazy claims. If Lamar Jackson, who was MVP his second year, and Patrick Mahomes, who in his third year was Super Bowl MVP and won the Super Bowl, if they continue on this trajectory that they're on, they will easily be top 10 quarterbacks of all time. So, no, to both of you.
a wag of
No.
the finger to you.
And second of all, these are easily considered two of the best teams in the NFL right now, if not the top two. So again, another wag of the finger to both of you.
I have been rather underwhelmed by the Chiefs so far this year, despite their record. I think that for this one, the over-under, I am taking the over.
I think this game goes over 70 points.
I agree. I'm taking the over in this game as well, but another dog here. Kansas City at plus 160. It's one of those bets where even if the Ravens win, it's like I can't pass up the Kansas City Chiefs at plus 160. Kansas City and Baltimore are consistently talked about in the same breath. So I think the Chiefs have all the pieces in the right place for them to come in and say, fuck you, we're winning this game, and Braxton's winning money.
Nobody cares. Peter, you mentioned earlier.
It was such a compelling argument, like the man exposed his soul.
Will you just like put in a round of applause after
I could
that?
feel his eyes looking at
You
it.
mentioned earlier that you didn't know like how to feel about the lines for this week's games. There's only a couple games where I was confident about, like the Titans and the Vikings, for example. I'm confident about, taking the under and taking the Titans money line on that. I think this is a game, if we're talking big return dollar-wise, you take whoever the underdog is in this game. I think the two easy bets you can make this week is taking the over on the shootout of a game, which I think will be 40-35.
And taking the Chiefs.
And taking the underdog, who
plus
are the
160.
Chiefs, you said.
Yeah. So the Chiefs are plus 160, so that means you get $160 on a $100 bet. Right now, the over is minus 115 as opposed to the under, which is minus 105. I did just work up a dummy parlay, which I do think that, are we all kind of in agreement that we would take the Chiefs and the over? Does that seem right?
The Chiefs are underdog. I'm
Yeah.
taking the Chiefs and I'm taking the over, yes.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead? I just worked this up. I'm really excited to get into it. Let's go to It Just Might Work. Okay, so in just a moment, Braxton is going to get into his, what did you call it again?
The Dogtown.
The Dogtown, which
Dogtown parlay, baby.
he'll get into it in just a moment. But we did just work up. There were some of the ones that Braxton had picked throughout, right? We talked about the Bengals at plus 230, the Rams at plus 125, the Texans at plus 165, the Bears at plus 165, and the Chiefs at plus 160. $5 on that gets you $677.
Yeah.
And I think that that's not an insane bet. I mean, $5 for like let it ride on that. Like if you feel at least remotely confident, roll with it.
And honestly, Peter, you're right on my same wavelength because I think you took 4 picks there and mine's 7 picks. And the reason it's called the Dogtown parlay is because these are all dogs, all underdogs this week. This is something when you look at these 7 games and you look at the opponents and you look at the odds, you tell yourself it just might work. So the first game I got is the Dolphins over the Jacksonville Jaguars at plus 135. The Rams over the Bills at plus 125. Texans over the Steelers plus 165. Bears over the Falcons plus 160. Bengals over the Eagles plus 230. Cowboys over the Seahawks plus 185. And Chiefs over the Ravens plus 160. If you do all 7 of those games and bet $10 at plus 88,984 odd, you would win over $8,000. Obviously, we're betting out of Oregon, so after Oregon federal tax, that's a $6,000 parlay win.
I mean, it just might work.
It just might work.
And the thing is that I was a little bit apprehensive toward parlays at the beginning, but I think that like you see the potential there. And earlier on in the show when we were talking about making sense of it, and Miguel was talking about his bet backs, in which case, like, say you're hitting on 3 or 4 of those right away, and you're like, I've had some second thoughts. All of a sudden, your $10 turns into, I don't know, a few hundred. And again, you could see the pie in the sky of 6,000, and you go, all right, like, are you still, Braxton, you said you would be mad if you lost the 6,000, but I mean, $10, like, I mean,
but
we piss away $10 all the time.
So imagine how this situation will be different if we are on Sunday night and he's 5 for 5
and I get a bet back for $4,000.
And I don't think
Would
your
you
bet
do
back.
that?
I don't think.
Oh my God! Can you imagine the bet back? Oh, I don't know.
See,
We're
imagine-
talking about
ima-
big numbers now.
Imagine you go 5 for 5. You're heading into the Monday night game to possibly win $6,000.
And I have, well, and again, so the total winning on that I think is like 8,800 before taxes. Right. So I'm staring down the barrel at almost $9,000 on $10.
There is a giant difference between a bet back of $200 on $330 winning versus $6K and being offered $3,500.
I know that I'm completely contradicting my
All of a
previous.
sudden we started thinking.
But then it's like, oh shit. No, but I promised my girlfriend that if I hit one of these big parlays, we're gonna go to Hawaii or go to Mexico or something like that. We're gonna go have a fun trip. So if it hits just one fucking time, then it won't
Now
make.
you know what
it'll
it's
make-
like.
I mean,
to
and
be
in
a
this room,
degenerate.
like,
It'll make-
you were 10 for 11. I was 11 for 14. It's not. I mean, maybe that's bad. Is 11 for 14 bad?
No, that's good.
There you go.
That's
That's how they get you, though. You never win.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think the last thing we need is the punishment.
Yeah, I think it's time to get into the punishment.
I think we're out of time.
I got another podcast to do.
All right, I'm gonna go and get it.
So while Peter's gonna go get it, Miguel, do you? What's your guess? What's your guess? What's your idea?
I don't have a guess. The shitty thing about stuff like this is I'm an open book, so everyone knows what I hate.
So Peter's just walked in the room.
What I have in front is something that I just want to do to you guys randomly, anyways. But now that we're in a punishment, like you have to, is we have 2 buzz balls.
Oh no! Oh my god!
We have but for anyone who doesn't know, buzzball chillers.
I don't think they're nationwide. In case they aren't,
Okay,
because we do have nationwide listeners.
yeah. So buzzballs
Lots of
are these like tiny little like baseball-sized alcoholic beverages.
It's like a Four Loko, is what it is.
Yeah, it is a 15% alcohol by volume. You have a sour apple chiller, which is just
God.
neon green.
Do I have to do both?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
and we're not talking sipping. This is a chug.
Yeah, and then
is
we
a
have a
chug.
pineapple colada chiller, which, by the way, we just decided to leave these out of the refrigerator.
They're nice
So they're
and warm.
warm?
They're
nice
kind
and warm.
Which one do you want first?
Yeah, and
I mean, fuck. If I have to do both, it doesn't matter.
just like Stone Cold Steve Austin. That. And just in case people don't know, if you haven't had a buzz ball, like Peter said, they're basically baseball sized, and it's not liquor. It's like a wine chiller or a malt drink, something that you can get like in a convenience store, and they are absolutely terrible.
It says on the side, though, to have a ball.
Never forget.
We haven't even opened this yet.
Have nails.
There you go. Here's the... Oh. That is rancid. Oh, okay, so Miguel has opened the sour apple.
You have to chug them.
Yes.
I mean, as best as you can, and please don't vomit.
Ugh.
What does it
Where's
smell
the other
like?
one?
Here it is. What does it smell like? Does it actually smell like it's supposed to?
It smells like an apple Four Loko.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow,
He is slamming
you
that.
pounded that.
That was impressive.
It's so gross.
Oh my god.
No, it's like it has whatever flavor they do. It's like right in the front, but right when it. Oh, sorry. It's like whatever flavor they have it. It's like masking it. It's right in the front, but when you drink it, when it hits you, it tastes.
I think we're giving you too much time for the second one. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, second one's up. This one is the pineapple colada. Guzzle on that is just...
Oh gosh, I hope we pick up some of that.
There was definitely some audible guzzling.
Okay.
Oh no.
That.
Are you still our friend?
Fucking disgusting.
Oh gosh, and a Rainier never tasted so
I
good.
know. Listen, I better not lose next week because I have picked the last two punishments.
Yeah.
Like, they just came right off the old dome.
Well, and honestly, I feel like Miguel and I together are a little bit more maniacal.
I would have done the wings easy over those.
Really?
Yeah, I would have eaten like 10 of those wings over that, because when is the last time that you've seen me puke from drinking?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been a long time.
I almost puked
Yeah, I
from
know.
finishing that second one. Like I mean, I'm still not gonna choose like a bowl of green onions because that would have made me puke right away, but I almost puked at the end of that second one. It's so
God.
good. It's so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Who fucking made these? Like, who invented them?
I just want to.
I didn't make them,
but it was Pete's idea,
yeah, it was
and
my
I'm proud of him.
I know.
I'm not
just
placing blame. I'm proud of him. He needs to get that recognition.
I know. Well, hopefully the picks that I chose don't land me in the doghouse.
Tell
I
you
hope
what,
it does. I hope we.
I'm really gonna be focused on my picks this week. Fuck this. Thank you for listening, folks.
Again, be sure to follow us on @officialijms on Twitter.
And tell your friends to listen to this shit.
Yeah, fuck.
Come on.
I know.
Hey, I had a lot of fun, guys. Good time.
Hey,
Hey,
you guys are great. Good
Look at
job.
us.
Great
look
job.
at us.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
great work.
Who would have thought?
Not me.
Let's get the fuck out.
All right. Bye. Bye. Hey, love you.